This is Hank for the Wildflower Bee Farm. 7 days of attack. So we're into 7 days. You can see the bees have formed somewhat a defensive sort of maneuver here, trying to keep the wasps out because they're under attack from wasps and robber bees. You can see the debris just inside, and also the propolis right there at the front where that bee is sort of struggling with it. That wasp is trying to get in desperately and may be able to do so, but you can see the bees have successfully formed a bit of a semi-arc circle to try to protect the entrance. I'm not sure why that bee is fanning unless it's a robber and it's trying to get other robbers to come in and help. The bees seem to be surviving, but you can see there's no pollen coming in or nectar because they're just busy trying to... Oh, the wasp got in, which is a bad sign. Now the question is, will that wasp stay inside? And the longer it's inside, the more we know that it's probably over for this hive, even though it looks great out front. 8 days of attacks. You can see it continues. The robbers are having their way. There's a smaller group of bees, not as many bees out front. They're trying valiantly to fight. Some are continuing to clean, which I find amazing. At a time like this, I mean, cleaning's not really important, but that seems to be their role, and they're not adapting. The robbers continue to come in, and you can see it's not getting any easier. What amazes me is this is 8 days of attacks, and this hive continues to be trying to fight back. It is really, really surprising. The other part that I'm trying to understand, and maybe you are too, is why would bees continue to do things that aren't helping it protect itself? So why would they continue to clean, for example, when that should be the least of their worries? I'm about ready to do something. There's different techniques we can use as beekeepers. You see the robbers now coming in just on their own. Here comes another wasp, 2 wasps. They've got sort of an attack system going. The bees are trying valiantly, but they're not able to protect, even though you'll see them haul out a bee now and then and fight back. Generally speaking, they're not winning this battle, and I really feel compelled to do something. Should I? Would you? This is decision time. Day 9, you can see drones are coming out. No idea why. Drones are leaving. Maybe they're being forced out by the robbers. Maybe there's not a lot of food left, or they've been attacked by the robbers. They're leaving. You can see the debris. You're going to see a sort of a larvae come out of a honeybee larvae that was obviously in the hive and is escaping. I've not seen this before. Maybe you have. It'll be out there. It is. You can see it coming out, just wanting to get out of there, or its casement had been breached by one of the robbers or wasps. So they continue to try to fight, but they're really not being very successful. Now it's time for me to think about whether or not I should do something. Now, what could I do? Well, in some places they talk about throwing a wet towel over the hive and just stopping the robbers from getting in, but we're on day 9, a bit late, and you could argue that I waited too long on this one. But again, the dilemma is in the Darwinian black box beekeeping technique, we're not supposed to intervene in these kind of situations because, frankly, if the bees are vulnerable to robbing or attack, they're probably not going to survive. So maintaining that genetic group or that community wouldn't make sense. But boy, this is hard to watch. You're going to see some really coordinated wasp attacks, and in a good way, you're going to see a honeybee respond. And if you remember, on Instagram, one of our most popular postings was the tuck and roll technique of a bee on a wasp, and you're going to see this again. So this really tells me that it's not such a rare occurrence, because we're going to see it again. Now we see drones going back in, which I don't understand. Why on earth would they do that, or where are they coming from? It really doesn't make any sense. There you see 3 bees trying to pull out a robber. You know, and in the meantime, they've been left quite open to attack by other bees. Now here's a wasp coming in, and you're going to see the wasp quickly be pulled out by a bee. Here you go. And you see, right, the wasp is trying to hang on. Now watch the tuck and roll technique right here. Here we go. Tuck and roll coming. There you go, right off the screen. So even though we're losing this battle, when you see something like that, it really does make you feel good. I'm Hank from the Wildflower Bee Farm. In the next video, you'll see my answer. Did I do something to try to help this hive? And what would you do? There you saw another tuck and roll go. Talk soon.